everyone, and welcome back. Hello, Twitch. Hello, YouTube, and we all back again. Yo, what's good, Jesse? Oh, God. We're not listening to broadcasts to nowhere. Skip to my loo. Yo, what you up to today? Whoa, what the? What you up to today, Jesse? Oh, Jesse. Doing my thing, playing LE and watching y'all's. All y'all's. It's like a paintbrush. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Playing this build, as a matter of fact. What do you think, man? Oh, you're using Apathy's Maw? Yeah, that's the one I did. I did one with Apathy's Maw and Permanence of Primal Knowledge gloves. It's definitely the one with Apathy's Maw definitely had a lot of more upfront damage. You know what I'm saying? This one scales really well, especially if you can get a ton of mana, and you can get a ton of free crit as well. You love it? Yeah, I really like the one I did. This is like the meta version. How's it going tonight? Oh, nothing much. Scared Citizen. Is it? Oh, it's scarred, not scared. Yeah, nothing much, Scarred Citizen. Hopefully you're having a good one. Welcome back. Oh, yeah. I'm not scared. You're scared. I'm scared of last Epoch Season 4, guys. They're bringing so much to the game. I don't know what's going to happen. All my builds are obsolete. Please. Dude, I'm so excited for Season 4. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. The attribute scaling, I still don't know how much I'm going to touch it. You know, the attribute changes and scaling. I don't know how much I'm going to touch it. It's going to really depend on how annoying it is to get, because I think the only way you can change an attribute is through the, if I'm not mistaken, it is through the amulet, and I believe it's a corrupted affix, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know how annoying that's going to be to get an amulet with the stats you need and then corrupt it and hope you get the attribute you need, right? So, plus all attributes have historically given you a defensive stat. I'm generally defense first, damage second. And I mean, generally, there are some exceptions to the rule. So this is it's also kind of a paradigm shift for me. Now I'm thinking damage first, defense second. Yeah, you change it through the corrupted. You change it through a corrupted affix that's on an amulet, unless there's amulets that have corrupted affixes. You'll just corrupt all the failed slams. I mean, you do have a point here. Yeah, somebody in chat was saying, you know what's the biggest winner of corruption? The 1 LPs. You know, especially the items where it's not too hard to get a 1 LP fill in the blank, but a 2 LP is not as easy. Well, now all you got to do is farm up a couple of those 1 LP fill in the blanks, slam them with the stat you want because you can select it, and then slam it with corruption. And if you don't get it, oh well, you probably got 12 others ready to go. Set items. Base set items, sure. Crafted set items have been one of the most annoying things to get up and going, in my opinion. Oh. Base set items. Okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah, obviously. I assumed you were talking about that. Man, crafted set items to get all the affixes you want on there have been a pain in my ass. If I finally get one of those, brother, I'm like, thanks. I am not corrupting this. I would think 1 LP and maybe even brick slams. Yeah, scared. I said it again. Scarred. Yeah, scarred. 1 LP and bricked items. Because do we know all of the outcomes? Like, I'm assuming it's going to work a lot like, I was about to say Diablo, about like Path of Exile. I guess Diablo's not too bad either. Right? I guess Diablo's not too bad because they brought sanctification to the game. Yeah, that's so hard to believe that we got sanctification, you know, essentially Diablo's version of corruption before we got corruption in last Epoch. That is wild. Maybe on a 0.0001%, you end up with a perfectly crafted reforge that you have leftover FP. That's what a lot of people said. Like, if you're able to perfectly craft an item and then dupe it. That was a question I had as well. Because, yeah, the item itself can't be used. The item itself can't be crafted on anymore. But that's the same as any item that has no forging potential. Anyone see the new Dune trailer? Any thoughts? I have not. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I have not read any of the books. I have not seen any of the movies, old or new. All I know is Dune has worms. And they're part of the story. And that it's science fiction. Yeah, I know nothing about Dune. But yeah, I haven't seen the trailer. I'm not trying to be like, yeah, I know nothing. I'm not I'm not into that world, blah blah blah. I just never got into it. The idol altars seem pretty interesting. That's the thing I think is going to be the most annoying to me. And the reason why I think it's going to be annoying is because it's just, you know, I got so many builds that people are like, oh, can we get a season 4 update? And it's like, hold on, I got to try and figure out this whole new mechanic. You're not a super fan, but you've read 4 of the books and you watched all the versions. Yeah, a lot more. I know what you mean by not being a by not being a super fan, but you're knowledgeable, I think is the word there. Like I think I'm on the same footing with you when it comes to like. I'm on the same footing with you when it comes to like Lord of the Rings. Like I read the books, I've watched the movies. I don't like. I haven't read. Like I've read The Hobbit, I've read the Lord of the Rings books, but I never read like the Silmarillion. I haven't watched any of the TV shows. Yeah, asking for season 4 update prior to patch notes is asking for a bit. Like I agree with you, Scarred Citizen, but it's something that people. I'm not going to say expect, but would like a lot. You get, as a content creator for especially a game like Last Epoch that has infrequent updates. Hopefully that gets better, but has infrequent updates. You'll get a lot of attention a couple days before season launch and a week after season launch. After that, you'll still get attention. I still post build guides, and sometimes I get a few of them that are popular. Hopefully it changes with this season, but yeah, the views I was getting at the beginning of season 3, or especially like season 2, oh yeah, it was hard to match those. Okay, wait, let me catch up with Twitch chat. Dude, I'm so hard for idol altars. Idols are my favorite items. Being able to run 4x1 vertical, horizontal at the same time sounds pretty fun. I was devastated when they got rid of the unicorn. What is the unicorn? Especially with the special weaver affixes that only exist on these. 64% chance of silver shroud not being consumed, for example, is pretty fun. Well, and then those new idols, the ones that act like they're a 1x4, but they're in a 1x3 thing. They're in a 1x3 format. And I was like, oh yeah, you can only have one of those. Somebody was like, no, it depends on the altar you have, right? You can get an altar that'll give you like, you can have like 3 of those. Imagine being able to use 3 of those idols. Oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, the unicorn. Yeah, I know what you mean now. The increased health and flat health, right, yeah. Imagine having 3 of those 1x3 idols, but have the same power as a 1x4. We've never been able to do more than 2 1x4s. Yeah, the Omen idols. Asking for season 4 update prior to patch notes. Oh, I think I misread what you said, Scar. Yeah, nobody's asking for, right. Okay, so nobody's asking for season 4 updates to the builds. before the patch notes. It's just I have a large number of builds that people have become fans of. And so now not only am I going to have to wait until I get patch notes, I'm going to have to get patch notes. And then hopefully the planners are updated to where we can sort of factor in how it works. But I'm not going to be able to play with it. And for me, it's a lot easier for me to get my hands on it and play with it instead of just theorizing about it. I know that's a major euphemism right there, so let's get our minds out of the gutter. But like, yeah, it always works out a bit better for me if I have a chance to interact with the mechanic and see how it works. Reading about it in patch notes and looking at it, looking at the like how the new idol altars are going to work, trying to figure out what the optimal path is going to be. Do I need help? I don't know if you're being sarcastic or offering help. You mean with the builds? Depends. It's just going to be a lot of trying to figure out what the optimal idol altar layout's going to be. DMU or Guilty Summoner. It's just going to be learning the new mechanic and then figuring out what the optimal path is going to be before the season launches so I can update the guides. Because we got a lot to take in now. Well, yeah, like sitting there and saying, okay, you should get this with this corruption affix and you should get this with this, and you're going to want to tie it into this, and then you start playing the game and then you realize corruption is a much more difficult mechanic to work with, or the idol altars are a lot more difficult to work with than you thought just looking at a planner. One thing that comes to mind is Diablo 4. When Diablo 4 was getting ready to launch, and Maxroll had put out all these build guides based off of items they had found that they read about that were going to be in the game, like the Grandfather or Shaco, and they put out all these build guides that incorporated it, and then they actually played the game. And it turns out those well, they're mythic items now, but those uber unique items were next to impossible to find, and they had all these build guides calling for these items. And then it turns out, oh, they finally got to play the mechanic, and then the mechanic turned out to be way different than they thought. So whenever a new mechanic gets introduced to the game, I always try to keep that in my mind, that, you know, I could look at something on paper, but how realistic is it until you actually play? I could tell you these are the like, for instance, for me. Oh, hey, yo, what's good, citizen? Hands-on versus reading is a lot different. Yeah, I'm on Twitch and YouTube. I used to be on Kick as well, but I wasn't really streaming to anybody except bots who'd be like, hey, you got yourself a great stream. Let's connect on Discord. Here's my handle. I'd be like, man. Yeah, so, like, another example. This one's for me. Going into Season 2, when we found out about the idols, right? Now, this one's not as impactful, but we found out about the idols and how you can roll the idols, right? And how you can add these new affixes. I was creating builds. I'm not going to say they were build enabling, but they were definitely accounted for as like, yeah, this is going to be a good boost of having double T7 affixes on the idols. I just figured it'd be super easy to get double T. Like they said we could re-roll it as many times as possible. Well, now all of my build guides that I put out, I account for only one T7 idol affix. And even then, I'm like, if you get this, that's amazing. So be prepared for like a T5 and then one T1 random affix you don't need. Don't expect to be getting two T7 affixes on an idol through the Weaver system. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't play the mechanics. So I was putting out these build guides. You know, like, obviously I did add the caveat I'm telling you guys right now. You only do single T7s even on aspirational, same. Because I think accounting for a double T7, especially a double T7 that you that are affixes that you want is, I'm not going to say impossible, but yeah. I only do single T7s as well. It is what it is. Let's look at my gear right now. I got a T6 of an affix I don't need. I got a T6 of a good affix. That's a good one. I'll keep that. I got together, this is a T6, and these are just good enough. I'll keep these. It's not impossible. Have you ever had a double T7 idle? I never have. I have never gotten a double T7 idle. Let alone a double T7 idle with affixes I wanted. I'm talking about idles. I'm using this as an example of, this was a mechanic I hadn't gotten a chance to play, and I thought, oh yeah, double T7, they said we can roll these as many times as we want. You'll get it. Turns out. Psych. So yeah, that's these are the thoughts I have. These are the thoughts I have now that I have two new mechanics I have to take account for. I got idle alters and corruption. You don't know how much corruption you need? Right. Season 2, the best ever I got was a top tier 7 weapon. I've never got anything like that. What? Okay, so are you saying top tier or trip tier? Was the trip tier a typo or I'm not familiar with trip tier. We're not being facetious here. I want to make sure I understand it. Triple. Okay. You got a triple tier 7 weapon. That is insane. Right. What's the highest weapon I have? I have a double T7 and a T6. Double T7 and a T6. Just throw triple T7 on search, see what happens. I don't need to because I got double T7 on there. I will find the T. Oh, I see what you mean. Just throw it on there and see how many times that kind of item drops. Yeah, it's never happened. Met my stash search. Oh. Oh yeah, maybe I do have a triple tier 7. Would it be 3 LP? No. No, I'm not doing it right. It's got to be super rare, like a natural drop. Materials might. It's LP3. Wait, no, we're looking for tier 7s. I got plenty of 3 LP. Oh, okay. I have no 3 tier 7s. Okay. I have multiple double tier 7s. Now that's hot. That is hot. Oh. Oh. Wait. Where'd the blurb go? Wait, where'd the blurb? To buy milk or cigs? Yeah, it has to come from has to come from the Nemesis. Oh, here, you know what? Is blurps down? Okay, that worked.
Just do it!
Okay, that worked. Okay. Oh, it came from a champion? Yeah, the champion affix is sealed. Okay, so why are my Twitch rewards?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
That is hell a delay.
Emotional, damn it!
Will I get over it? No. But life goes on.
No, that was my
Will I get over it?
Okay, yeah.
No. But life goes on.
Yo, Scarred Citizen, thank you for becoming a for following. Lisa came back from buying milk and smokes. Look at all these double T7s. Okay, it seems to be working now, yeah. Oh. I'm probably never gonna slam these. Let's throw them in there for the heck of it. What'd you guys think of today's leaks? Or not leaks, but reveals? I know at least Brow, I know you're a big Rogue guy. I don't really play Rogue, so I mean I saw the reveals for Rogue and I was like, yeah, since we can't get the full picture, yeah. It's just hard for me to get hyped over that. Unless it's Sentinel, because I play Sentinel all the time, you know. But even then, it was like, even when they were revealing the skills for Sentinel, I was just like, what's the full picture? There's the Flame Reeve love. Nobody loves Flame Reeve except for you. You know Rogue, so you see a few builds. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, absolutely, bro. I just hope and want to know if bladed armor shuriken will make the shuriken spin around the blade storm, making it into a chainsaw. Chainsaw storm. Oh. Don't even need to be good. I just want to throw chainsaws. Hey, yo, what's up, Chris, over on YouTube? How you doing, bro? That would be cool. I guess I'm joining the Shatterstrike people, maybe. Firebrand, there you go. Yo, it's Blue Beyond. How's it going? Feeling controversial? Why are you feeling controversial? What happened? What'd you do? One thing that is worth mentioning, though, Shadowrend on Marksman with the Rogue set might end up enabling a funny little build with it proccing multi-shot from Shadows. Sounds kind of lit. That's what's controversial? Leveling a sword, didn't realize how strong Lightning Blast got. It's gotten very strong. Oh, the multi-shot. I have a natural affinity for throwing skills, so I tend to play Sentinel and Rogue a lot. I'm also a big Acolyte fan. Yeah. You're revamping your shuriken build for sure. Okay, so are you feeling controversial because you're going to be playing Rogue? Yeah, Lightning Blast is pretty strong, Chris. I mean, Pinching Loaf and Frozen Sentinel, man. No. Well, I mean, you come in here being all cryptic, talking about being controversial, and then then you immediately start talking about playing Rogue because my last vid got so many dislikes. Oh, sorry, you got distracted. Oh, your last vid got so many dislikes. Yeah. I have a Lightning Blast sword cruising through 1000 C. I commented a few times. Yeah. That was, I watched the full thing. That was a rather interesting take. I will say this. I don't know how you're gonna, what's your YouTube? Because the Max Trolls can't do math. What? Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna legislate that. You would have to, I think, in my opinion, do away with... I think you would have to do away with offline mode, and I don't think that's good for the economy. A 1 in 600 item is easy to get. Yeah, I mean, I do have my issues with some of those, with some guides out there that call for some items, but... If it's worth anything, I agree with you, Blue, in the sense that You should be proud of the work you're doing, but I don't think there's anything you can do that could stop people from just creating builds in offline mode. Because also at the same time, those guys are doing the same exact thing I said is going to happen. They're going to get most of their views within the first week, and then it's going to fall off. And since they can't, you know, whether you guys agree with it or not, since they can't, you know, formulate build knowledge in CT anymore, they're trying to slap stuff together as fast as possible when the season goes live. I'm not saying it has to go, but like I feel if EHG put a stance on it, then Maxwell being their partners would not, you know. I think like at the end of the day, Maxwell's still a business, and they know the most of the money that they're going to make is going to come from within the first week. They used to. An individual was banned from CT for modding offline and making YouTube videos. Things changed when MR started doing it. If anything, it discredits Maxwell and they should want to fix it. I mean, the thing is, guys, Maxwell is a very popular site. A lot of people know of it, not just for Last Epoch. I found out about Maxwell back in the Diablo 3 days. Well, sort of. Diablo 3 was already coming to a close. Diablo 4 was on the horizon, but that's how I found out about the website. So there's a lot of people who are familiar with the website. I know you guys may not agree with their practices, but at the end of the day, they are a business. And I will say I don't know if I like the idea of them slamming out a bunch of guides in offline mode, but I mean, what are you going to do? It's a contributor problem. To be honest, most people won't know anything about these things and don't care. It's getting worse. It's getting a worse rep steadily because people are hitting walls because their builds don't flow. I will admit, I've had a couple issues in the past like that because some of the items are pretty hard to get your hands on. You know how many people we help because it no. Like I agree. There's people who came in, they were having an issue, and we were able to help them out. That's why I'm not like I don't want to be like out here talking shit or anything. I don't see this as respec at 70. What's wrong with respecing at 70? I like to respec at 75 personally because at that point you're level 20 and everything. I know action RPG, we aim for respec at level 60, but I personally like level 75, 76. Sometimes it's a pilot issue and not a guide issue though. Yeah, respec whenever, just pilot issue mostly. Respec their subclasses. Respec subclasses. That is different from respecing. Okay, they respec their subclasses. They had subclass at 70 on max roll guides. What, respecing at level 70 to a different subclass? I believe, like, I tried to tell Aaron this. I'm like, yo, if you want a Forge Guard leveling guide, just use the Paladin leveling guide and then respec. I was advocating for respecing at 60. It's really expensive. Well, okay, so is that a for first character is expensive? Okay, so you're saying, so you're not saying there's anything wrong with respecing. Okay. So you're thinking that's an oversight. It's not that expensive. You easily get the gold just playing. It's like 500k-ish at level 60 through 70. Wait, what are you talking about? 500,000? I mean, and I agree with you, Afia. I don't think it's worth it doing mastery respecs either. Okay, I will say I do think that's a touch bit expensive. Yeah, I think that is a touch bit expensive. But let's set aside whether or not that's expensive enough. I think what Brow's getting at is that even if it is too expensive, the creator should be mindful enough that it is that expensive. And I agree with you for the most part, except when it comes to Forge Guard. But okay. How much is it going to cost to respec my Void Knight right now? If I wanted to respec to a Paladin, it would cost me 1 million gold at level 100. So 500,000 at level 60? Well, in Afia, that's why we at actionrpg.com are striving to do by having a leveling guide for every mastery. I toe the company line here, chat. I toe the company line. I have a level 68 mage. I'll check in 5 minutes. Oh, well, you don't have to do that, Scarred. I mean, let me see if I got what a plug. I mean, level 94, level 98. We had dozens of people that needed help because of the respec. Best I got is a level 89 Rune Master. Acolyte for X, Chaos Bolt plus Bone Curse. Respec Mastery. I don't want to be a Rune Master anymore. It's going to cost 575,000 at level 89. 500,000? I mean, I wish I had a character that low. If it's 575,000, level 77 costs 275,000. Thanks, Almighty Justice. Okay. How is it? That's going to drain you on your first character on cough. 275,000. You know, I'm just going to be perfectly honest. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm just going to have to take the stance of I've never paid attention because I've never respec'd. Yeah, I mean, I've never paid attention because I've never respec'd a character. Yeah, it is a bit mid-maxy, but at the same time, it's in their name, max roll. I mean, it's what they're gonna... I shouldn't say that, but... Level 68, it's 114,000. Yeah. Well, I think that's a far cry from 500,000. Again, I just never paid attention. So I'm gonna have to defer here because I've never respec'd a character. Level 60 should be 50k, but that's the thing. I feel like when I did that, I feel like when I was doing that Circle of Fortune, you know, like solo character found run. I hadn't respected in a long time either, Scar. Don't worry. When I did that solo character found run, like, even though I didn't respec, I feel like by the time I was level 60 or 70, I already had over 1 million. I could be misremembering here, but also at the same time, I'm also somebody who's not buying stash tabs every time they come up because I know I only need like 1 or 2. No. Like, bro, I'm trying to be charitable here. I'm not trying to diminish what you're saying. What you're saying is you had people come in and saying this. A more experienced player would have more than enough gold, but you're a first-time player. You're buying stuff from the vendor. All right, now I'm trying to come from Brow's position here. Chris, I see your messages over there. I'll read them in a second. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you over on YouTube. So you're a first-time player, or you haven't played in a long time. You want to get your stash tabs set up just right. You're following this build guide. You're blasting through content. You're trying. You maybe don't know better, and you buy a couple items from the vendor, and then you actually don't have a ton of gold on hand. You go for a respec, and then you're stuck because now you also need this new gear, or you did respec, and without paying attention to the cost, you then went to the vendor and bought stuff, and now you're in a rut. A more experienced player would not fall for this, but they're not a more experienced player. I could see it from both sides. Here. Being charitable to both sides. One could argue it's not a big deal, but if you don't know what you're doing, you could accidentally blow through all your gold and then get stuck. And then you're out there trying to kill stuff and it's not working. And maybe you're forced to go back down to earlier timelines, and now you're not progressing anymore because everything's way lower than you in level. Yeah, so by definition, you don't know what you're doing. Right, yeah. I can see both sides of it. I think what I should probably do is do like a solo character found run and then like level a character to 70 and then try respecking, or 60 or something. Right. I think I could understand the sentiment. You're recommending that you respec. And even though the gold cost is probably not that large, why are we adding an extra layer of complexity to the leveling process? I think it boils down to super casuals and first timers. They just don't know. I think that's what it's coming down to here. Is there a big difference in leveling speed from level 20 to 70 between masteries? Well, if you're trying to play a Lich versus trying to play a Warlock, I could definitely see it. If it's coming down to if it's coming down to like the Sentinel masteries, I don't really think so. I will say Paladin, I feel like, has an edge over Forge Guard and Void Knight just because they get Holy Aura. Depends on your skill setup. Really, you don't think playing Lich? Well, here's the thing. I haven't played Lich. I've just heard other people. Hey, what's good, Chris? Oh, I got 2 Chris's over on YouTube. I'll read your messages in a second. I've never played Lich, but I heard people say playing Lich early sucks. They think it's better just to play as a Warlock and then respec the Lich after level 50. Setup you mentioned works fine for all 3. Okay, I'll have to defer. I've never played a Lich. Okay, let me catch up with YouTube real quick. Let me catch up with YouTube real quick. Been over here talking on Twitch. You basically get enough gold to respec once and be broke and maybe can't even afford that if you're really rushing through. Okay, yeah, Chris. So you're adding to the agreement here. Chris King. So we got Christopher and Chris King. Chris King, yo, Bike. If say I get a 1LP World Splitter and just until LP2, what should I slam on it till I see so many different things on Warpath? You're playing Warpath. And you're playing a World Splitter. So you're going to get base critical strike chance with Warpath per 1 mana cost. And if you are using Warrior's Fury, your mana cost goes up per second. As your mana cost is going up per second, your critical strike is also going up per second. So an argument could be made to slam flat melee void damage, but here's the thing. If you want more upfront damage and you don't want to wait for it to ramp, just put melee critical strike chance on there. Does that make sense, Chris? Early Primalist, anything that's slow as hell on any mastery? Sure. Well, I felt like last time I played Primalist, I was using some twink gear. Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool, Chris. Pulls down the Chthonic Fisher being busted for leveling. Yeah. If it's a new player playing Lich, it'll be significantly longer to level versus Warlock. I'm talking first character. Okay. I was curious because I've seen so many different slams. True. Primalist is fine once you get totems. Before then, yes, pain. I felt like yeah, it's hard to tell because the last time I played Primalist, I had leveling gear. So as a first timer, I felt like the wolves were doing pretty decent. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, twink doesn't count. We're talking first playthrough. We're talking solo character found. We're not talking twink. I was just saying, I felt like it wasn't that bad when I played Primalist this season. Then I realized it was twinked. Yeah, I would level as Beastmaster. Yeah, I feel like Beastmaster kind of has an edge. I went frogs last season. How did it work out for you, Marcus? To be frank, pre-mastery is the most painful time no matter the class. You know what? Yeah, I think I have to agree. Because I'm looking at it through the lens of Afia. And what does Afia like to do? Afia likes to play hardcore. I was going to say, yo, bro, I feel like Sentinel's such a smooth leveling experience, man. Like even before you choose a mastery, I feel like Sentinel is a really smooth leveling experience. Especially if you go hammers, but like, yeah, you might die once or twice. I'm like, oh, remember, this is Afia. Hammers do be OP, and I'm probably going to level with hammers again, man. It's been one of my most favorite leveling experiences. Yeah, Sentinel leveling is really smooth. I love me my hammers, bro. Unless hammers get nerfed into oblivion or something. I love me my hammers. It's just always such a great time. Oh, so Chris Keen, when you're talking about slams, are you talking about the slams on the channel? Where I'm always locking in the melee void damage? Getting a double flat bastard sword early, for example, is massive for a lot of cloud. No, yeah, exactly. Double flat. I think when I was leveling the Forge Guard or fire starter on any class, holy. When I was leveling the Forge Guard, I got a double flat early. And solo character found, I think that's why that character didn't die. That character didn't die until I was in Monoliths. I mean, it was softcore, but like, yeah, I didn't die in the leveling. Searing Flames, Dot Fireball, yeah. Bro, you get a fire starters. You get a fire starters on Sentinel who's playing a hammer build, bro. Some people just like to watch the world burn. P-Spike, early one for you tonight. Yo, catch you later, Jesse. Thanks for being here. With 4 LP fire starters, they're waiting for a perfect slammer for a 7-month season. She'll be missed. Yeah. Rip. Oh, fire starters, I never knew thee. The curse of the 4 LP drop. Yeah. Oh my god, I got the perfect drop! Oh man. Oh, 4 LP Polaris, been waiting for a good item. I remember getting an amazing slam on a 4 LP Polaris. It was awesome. It was I think it was for Season 2 Machine Gun Smite. Trying to remember, I think it might have been a double T7 with amazing suffixes. It was a double T7 prefix with very good T5 suffixes. Phenomenal. Amazing. That thing doesn't fit anything. Wait, Polaris? Really? It's a worse Exsanguinous? Shroud of Obscure. Where? Oh, I see what happened. I didn't even see what you said. Yeah. It's like, why play with Shroud of Obscurity when you could just play with Exsanguinous, which is better in every metric. The 3 LP that every Sentinel run that has T5 fire damage with T5 Ignite fire pin, I found nothing that would top that for the 4 LP guy. Fire starters? If I at least had percent dodge rating, may oh, we're still talking about Shroud of Obscurity. Almost got me with that one, Afia. Anyhow, I need to go eat something, so I'll drop by later. Yo, Afia, take care. Enjoy your meal. Or actually, if they buff the percent health loss per second, more at least you can use it to bump up dot damage through a Lich passive. Yeah, sure. Sure. So what about you guys? I know I asked earlier, but more of you guys have showed up in the interim. What did you guys think of the reveals today for the classes? I don't really play mage or rogue. The mage ones were a little bit easier for me to sort of visualize because mage is actually a class that I've tried to like seem like good changes. Yeah, that mage is actually a class that I've tried to play that I've like tried slapping together some of my own guys, even if it doesn't work. Rogue, I don't really think I've tried to experiment too much with rogue. Very hyped for Blade Dancer. Mage I dislike. Love the mage changes. Mage and rogue main issues are lack of way to find defensive layers. Rogue can kick rocks. Man, that's pretty harsh, Chizzy. I mean, rogue was always a cool. I like Blade Dancer. Yeah, man, that's kind of harsh. I always thought it was a cool archetype, man. You know, the assassin. I kid. Yeah, it was hard for me to visualize all the changes. Some of them seem good. Some of the changes that's coming to Black Hole seem like I wonder if that skill's actually like usable now. Like I remember, I really like the idea of doing like a meteor black hole build for the sorcerer and calling it Armageddon or something, and then it turns out no, I was calling it the Interstellar build. And then somebody said it was like called Armageddon, or like somebody had come up with the idea. I mean, not surprising. What if you take meteor and black hole? Not exactly original there. So yeah, hopefully black hole is usable. It's just hard to get the assassin fantasy work in a game where you're currently spinning without a care and everything dies anyway. So Chris, do you think Sentinels should be nerfed? Christopher, I should say, instead of just generic Chris. So Christopher, do you think Sentinel should catch a nerf? It's already a really tanky class, and now it's doing a ton of damage. Do you think they should nerf some of the damage on Sentinel? No, LE just isn't a game for a slow and deliberate assassin playstyle. Every class can do crazy damage. I don't see it as an issue. Sentinel probably does 10 times the damage of Blade Dancer and is 2 to 3 times tankier. Remember when Sentinel was the squishiest class, chat? I remember. I do indeed, yeah. And yet I always seem to make it work. Well, I'm hoping, like, okay, so real fact of the matter is, hey, yo, what's good, Eric? Real fact of the matter is, I feel like Blade Dancer caught a couple of nerfs when it should, like, unnecessary nerfs. Like, I felt like every time they were doing something with Umbral Blades, they were like, oh, let's make a little adjustment there. Like, and the fact that Falconer has been, they've tried to nerf that class so many times. I don't know if there's ever a way to really balance that class, but as somebody who doesn't really play the class, I don't know how many of the Falconer nerfs also translated over to Blade Dancer nerfs. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm playing a Void Knight, but I'm using Symbols of Hope. If Symbols of Hope was removed today from the game, that would be a nerf for Void Knight. Meanwhile, Acid Flask Falcon killing Uber in 20 seconds. I was only interested in one of the skill reveals for Mage. Everything else, I'm okay with the kick and rock stance. Era of Ward, but also Void Knight got Ward in that time and got tanky. Well, yeah, and the thing is, Void Knight also got, you know, this and this and this. When Void Knight used to have none. This is all us Sentinels used to have. Nearby enemies. We had a bit. The only one we had, well, I mean, if you count Shield as I mean, if you want to count Shield, then yeah, sure. You can count Shield. But that's the thing. That's only like a lot of Void Knight builds. I felt like they liked the two-handed weapon approach. So I guess this was the only other one that we had. Got my game installed and you're ready for next week. Let's go, Big GZ. Big GZ. What up, though? Nothing much. You can leave now. I'm kidding. Come back next week. No, not a whole lot. We're just talking about the reveals from. We're just talking about the reveals from this week. Okay, bye. Sad face. Every class has good defensive layers. The issue with Sentinel is basically free comparative to the others, so it stands out more. I've only used a shield on one build ever, Thorn Shell. I'll give you one guess what build that most definitely getting the hammer this season. Really? You've never used a shield with like a hammer build, Chizzy, or are you just not big into hammers? I have 5K hours and I've never made a hammer build ever. You act like that's a badge of honor. That's kind of sad. I'm sorry. Chizzy, why? No hammers whatsoever, man? She. Hard to make. Oh, yeah. Why no hammers, Chizzy? What happened? Okay, so when you say you haven't made a hammer build, you mean like you haven't done like an in-game hammer build. Oh, that's nice. It's just not your playstyle. You've tried it out while leveling, but you never actually did a build, like a build with it. Yeah, there's a difference between build and build. Though that's next to impossible to decipher in chat. Yeah, but I know what you mean. I like being a fast ride build, lots of attack and movement speed. I mean, you have been very consistent with that, Chizzy. You have constantly said, and you have never wavered, that you do like a good ride build. So yeah, 100%. Like, yeah. So, with all that being said, Chizzy, how did you, being somebody who like movement speed, you just got a void pen, void damage, woven idol. Let's go. That's the hit. That's the juice right there, as they say, bro. So as being somebody who likes movement speed and attack speed and cranking through stuff, how did it feel playing Reflect? Dirty, but I loved it. Still had 75% movement speed in Spriggan form and 65% cast speed. Oh, you didn't play Reflect on Sentinel? I think VK is in a good spot, minus some of the exploity stuff. Maybe Mana Well's a bit overtuned. I think I've seen a few people say it. I think it would probably be for the best. In regards to mana well, I think it would probably be for the best. Instead of like nerfing mana well further, when it comes to something like Warpath, you know, and spinning for forever, it'd probably be better if you hit negative mana, it ends your channel. You could immediately start again, but you know, I think that really kind of deals with the main issue with Warrior's Fury. Instead, what happens is you hit negative mana, you gain all your mana back, and you keep going. Use Aaron's Shaman Reflect build and change like 6 different nodes to my taste. Oh yeah, you altered it to your preferences. Cause like, I feel like Mana Well worked really well with a Racing Strike. And I feel like if they nerfed Mana Well further to address Warpath, that's just going to inadvertently nerf a lot of other like Void Knight builds that use Void Well. When in fact, I mean, let's okay, so when it comes to the nerfs, I mean, what's the one build everybody thinks of? I don't know about you, but I think of like, I think of Warpath just spinning for what feels like forever. Whereas, you know, I felt like a Racing Strike felt fine. It had some drawbacks. You can almost a Racing Strike for forever, but you can't really move. Judgment. Well, yeah, and then Warpath with the weapon swapping. You think Judgment needs to be nerfed again? Earthquake Bear. I haven't played Earthquake Bear, but I heard that build needs to be tuned for sure. Reflect, we already know that's happening. Warpath. Yeah, like with the weapon swapping, that's really what it's snapshotting, right? I feel like not a lot of people do that, but I could be wrong. Earthquake Bear just one-shots the screen you were on and the screen ahead of you. Reflect is happening. Probably deleting the idols would be enough of a nerf. Yeah, because the idols give you flat, right? They give you flat reflect damage. So are we playing reflect ampersand? Right. So are we playing patch notes bingo here? Are we just I'm worried about time rot. Shield throw 2. What nerf shield throw? The mana well? What do you think is gonna happen with time rot? Am I excited for the new cycle? Yo, what's up? Is it Potart Heaven? Like Pop-Tart Heaven? If Reflect gets nerfed? You know, I'm not familiar with that build, so I don't know. I want idols to remain. I'd like to try some Reflect Forge Guard to see if that can be decent. Yeah, sorry, Dylan. It's not going to happen. They already said they're going to nerf the Reflect build. So, I mean, maybe they're not going to nerf the idols, but as far as I'm aware of, I think idols are on the chopping block. I don't know if they're getting removed or changed or what. There's a shield build that gets damage to shield throw from Reflect. Oh, then yeah, that build's probably done too. I'm not entirely sure. Thicket is the real problem. I mean, sure, Thicket is the real problem, but Thicket got amplified by the fact you can get a lot of flat Reflect on idols. I feel like when that got brought up, it was almost like, yeah, that was an oversight or something. Yo, so Pop-Tart, what am I most excited? Am I excited for the new cycle? Yes. What am I most excited for? That wasn't in your question, but I'll just answer that as well. I'm excited for new animations coming to the game. It might feel like an entirely different game. Like, if everything's getting completely new animations, well, I don't know about completely new, but new updated animations, it might feel like we're playing a different game. The Thorn Shield reflects what's getting nerfed, probably the Primordial Chest too. So, Chizzy, are you saying that the idols are not getting nerfed? But, okay, so let's take this Void Knight for instance, right? I click this way, what happens? He immediately almost teleports over, right? I click this way, he doesn't even turn on his heels. He doesn't even do anything. He just immediately starts facing that direction. We don't really notice it a lot, but if you play the game a lot like me, after playing something like Path of Exile 2, where everything felt very fluid and stuff like that, you know, like Last Epoch can feel a little blocky at times. And there's nothing wrong with that. I still love Last Epoch. It's absolutely my favorite action RPG of all time. But I am excited for some new animations to see how the game feels. What build would I recommend for a newer player right now? My first character is a Tornado Werebear. You want to try something different. You still want waifus? Yeah, sure. Bring on the waifus, bro. Okay, so Pop-Tart. You love the snappy movement? They already said they're bringing, they said they're already bringing new animations. I think I want, you know, I don't mind if it's slightly a little bit floaty. Maybe not as floaty as Path of Exile 2, but okay, so going back to Pop-Tart. Pop-Tart, is Tornado Werebear the only character you've ever played? I'm going to assume yes. I'm a Sentinel player. All right, I'm gonna talk with my eyes open, because when I talk with my eyes closed and I put my fingers here like this, it seems like I got a headache. I don't. I'm just so I'm assuming that the Tornado Werebear is the only character you've ever played. Check out Bleedhammer's Paladin leveling. Let me pull up a guide for you. Snooze those ads on Twitch. Sorry, YouTube. I got nothing to do. Can I snooze ads on delay ads? Bam, there we go. Ads have been delayed. Yo, thank you for the likes over on YouTube. Welcome on in, everybody. So Pop-Tart, check that build out. Think thicket damage with all the flat reflect is fine if it doesn't damage the full screen twice per second. Drop the range of damage or bring the application down a bit. Maybe apply every 0.66 seconds or 0.75. Nah, I want the snappy. I already read that. I still want waifus. I think Weaver idols for sure are getting nerfed, Chizzy says on Twitch. Look at Aaron's reflect build on the site. Those are the idols I think they are getting nerfed. Okay, yeah. Are they the small ones? Small ones that get flat reflect? I mean, I'll go check out Aaron's site. ActionRPG.com. We're going over to Last Epoch. And then we're going to be scrolling down. Okay, let's go back to build guide. We're going over to Primalist. Reflex Spriggan. Then we're gonna go check out the idols. Yeah, you want 20 of the small Weaver idols. Percent damage reflected to attackers. Flat and percent. All right. Yeah, those are the idols. You can get insane with those idols alone. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, up to 150 reflect each. If they got waifus, they would nerf them. Really? Reflect kind of ruined the season for me. Clearing 1,000 corruption without pressing any buttons is kind of not okay for the game. I mean, I've never liked Thorn's builds to begin with. So what happened, Fuzzy? Did you just put the game down after that? You got to press 2 buttons. That's more than some builds. You always had to compare everything to reflect. So you kept playing the game in solo character found, but you felt like, oh, if I'm not getting the same numbers as reflect, what am I doing here? Idols and getting waifus. Idols and waifus. You guys heard of Dungeons and Dragons? Well, get ready for EHG's latest tabletop. Idols and waifus coming to a game store near you. I FOMO'd myself. Okay? Yo, Fuzzy, did you ever try playing Warpath with T8 channel cost reduction? Yeah, I quit playing catch with my son because I kept comparing him to Justin Verlander. Play rating build on site, it clears on par with reflect. Oh yeah, I play pretty much everything meta at this point. And you felt like nothing could compare to reflect. So what's your goal for season 4, Fuzzy? Oh, Wheel of Torment Warlock? Yeah, rest in peace. I was going to say something similar to what Brow said. I mean, I think this build right here is probably the first meta build I've played all season. This Warpath build. Everything else I came up with on my own. I mean, not to be like, you loser, you pleb. I mean... Dude, I don't know if I would do that, Fuzzy, because then you're going to be playing these meme builds going, well, shoot, it's not comparing to that other build. What if you didn't follow any build guides and you just used all your own knowledge? I mean, obviously, that doesn't help me. That's terrible for me. I'm somebody who puts out build guides, but I think your enjoyment of the game is more important than what I do. So, I mean, what if you just didn't pay attention to anybody else and you played your own thing? Looking at you, Fuzzy. Have you seen the squirrel build? Is that what you mean by meme builds? I mean, squirrel build could be a meme build, but that build also cleared, like, I don't know, what did Aaron clear with it? 1600 corruption? Yeah. You want to figure out a new Blade Dancer? Yeah, 100%. My man. Dude, how big is this freaking map? Holy. See you later, pal. You can pull up the bicycle meme where the guy sticks the stick in his spokes. Yeah, I'm not going to pull that up, but I know what you're talking about. I will say this, like, as a streamer, it's a little bit easier to do your own builds when you also got chat going, hey, what if you use this? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm trying to be sympathetic here. I don't want to make it sound like I'm just picking on Fuzzy. Please, everybody, I'm not picking on Fuzzy. Fingers crossed, I'm not picking on Fuzzy. And that was the last time Fuzzy came by Babbling Bike Stream. At that point, he became known as Babbling Bully. Throughout the entire community, he became known as the Babbling Bully. Oh, come on. Oh, my forging potential. Okay, health. I used to be the same way. I quit caring what anyone else did in games. I didn't try to keep up. I just did my own thing. You've never enjoyed gaming more. The only thing I care about is trying to hit, 500 corruption. So if I'm not doing that, I'm like, what am I doing here? I have a few ideas for the new Blade Dancer. We'll see what they do with her. Yeah, we'll see what they do with her. I still need to learn the crafting. Hopefully get it down before new cycle. Yeah, there's a lot of, I feel like I help better with crafting if I know exactly what you want to craft. You're just making a statement here. I don't think you're actually asking, hey, bud, can you help me with crafting? So I'm going to leave it at that. 500C is my goal every build. Anything over that is pure gravy. Hear that, chat? We're looking for gravy. We like to just pour it on. Gravy. We need a Bully Rye emo? We're not gonna do that. I just like me some chicken legs, bro. Let's go, man. No shot. A 3LP Dark Shroud of Cinders. If only I could use it for anything. Really wish Harbingers would spawn in the middle of the arena. Why would we want easy mode? Oh, flashbang. All right. I'll be right back, chat. Let me make my loop around you and you die. Yeah. You notice that Shadowrun says movement and not traversal. Did they replace that or is it a new tag? I mean, well, Warpath has the movement tag and not the traversal tag, so I wonder if it's gonna work like Warpath. Is it like a channel movement skill? Okay, so this is interesting. It is interesting. Does the traversal skill have a movement tag? Lunge. Traversal and movement, yeah. You know what to do with Guile. Okay, so at this point, who needs armor anyway? Evening Bike must be exciting. Must be getting excited about the new season. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what the season holds. I'm excited about new. I'm excited about the new. I'm excited about the new animations. Okay, Gorsh, I got a question for you. And if you can't answer this, this is okay. Were you kicked out of the CC program? Because I had somebody in here that I've known who's been here a while who said that only the streamers were kicked out of the CC program and he was still in it. He said he was still in it and that there was a small group of people who got to stay. Yeah, I sent them, like, EHG a private message. I mean, if it was they told me they had all the testers they needed. Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, wait, what? He was like, yeah, only the streamers got kicked. I'm like, wait, Brow got kicked, and he's not a streamer. Nor has he released a build guide. I was pretty sure Gorsh got kicked, and you guys were the main two that I knew beyond streamers. So I was just really surprised to hear that. It was a bit of a kick in the nuts. Well, especially to hear that. Like, I don't know if he was just blowing smoke up my skirt, but I mean, he sounded like he was like, yeah, I'm still in it. And I was just like, wait, what? that is nice. Kinda don't want to mess with this. Wait, what? Okay, so they also said you could reapply, and that was a bit of a lie. Yeah, I did a lot of bugs. I didn't even push past empowered in CT. They also said we could reapply, and that was a bit of a lie. I don't believe much from them lately. Okay, so when you say them, are we still talking EHG? Or is there someone else that you're just leaving their name out because you're trying to avoid drama? Okay. I just want to be clear here. They never gave you the opportunity to reapply. Why am I doing this? Okay, yeah, I figured I'd add. It seems like they imported crafting company policy. Kappa. I just figured I would ask because that just seemed completely counter to everything I had heard and been told. Like, I don't want to say the person who was in here saying that was a liar because they've been here multiple times. Hoping a certain element isn't still in CT where the game is about to get sweaty. Right. We've discussed that before. that would, yeah, that'd be kind of, man, that'd suck. Long seasons have killed him. You don't say. So wait, Gorsh, are you excited for season 4 or are you just here to see if anybody else is? You're excited. Hey, what up, Motor Adrian? I mean, the one thing about long seasons for me is I'm somebody who's tried to, create content on the regular, and it does get a little disheartening when you get a bunch of views near the beginning of a season and then they just start to taper off and you're like, yeah, that's fine, but it'll be all right. New season's on the horizon, and then, oh shit, this is another long season. Now I gotta find other things to fill the void. And you start playing other games, and then it's like, oops. Look what you did to your analytics. Speaking of which, I got another key right now. Oh, man. If tomorrow's... Oh, man. Yeah, seriously. That's why I try to keep it to one game, and I thought last Epoch could be that one game. It still can be, but the irregular seasons have made it really hard to, gain any momentum. I'm just hoping things have turned around now. Yeah, I do got that key for another game. I got, I think, like a few more days to stream it or make a video about it. Oops. Well, let me see how much time I have on this. Hold up. Well, maybe if tomorrow's thing is not really that much of a banger, I can just be like, hey guys, we're going to a Twitch exclusive. Yeah, we got 12 days. I'm going to have to stream this tomorrow. I mean, I guess I don't have to. It's just, it's bad analytics saying, oh yeah, I'll stream your game, and then I never did it. Okay. I hear and I understand. I don't like the idea of games being designed around streamers. It's kind of killing a lot of games. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, no, like I understand that completely too, bro. When Battlefield 6 comes out, let's give it a BR. Battlefield 6 did not need a BR. Back and jumping into this conversation, Ellie has so many nifty little skill interactions and ways to build around skill that I really don't think it fits a seasonal thing, especially considering the time investment needed to get a build going. Yeah, true, but it also makes it hard for anybody to commit, like from a streaming perspective, to commit to LE full time as a content creator unless they're already doing well in life and that they could just devote this as a hobby. You like what Wicked is doing? No rest for the Wicked. As in, you can get a build up and running at a decent spot in what, 10 to 12 hours? Depends on the build, but yeah. I agree with... Hey, yo, what's up, Repeats? I agree with Brow on that one. At least we can design around that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the game needs to be tailored to 4 months seasons or 3 month seasons to appease the streamers. But if it's... Okay, you know what? We can... What are my thoughts on there being a new Pinnacle boss? About time. But yeah, I think that would be healthy for the game and for streamers because they got something they can rely on. Right? Yeah, I want them to cook every season. Even GGG is slowing down the pace of their releasing because it's becoming too much for them. Well, GGG kind of did it to themselves by promising to have 2 games. They're now trying to piggyback. Not only are they trying to piggyback launch after launch, they're trying to do launch of the other game. Launch of the other game. Launch of the other game. I think they probably should have committed to sunsetting PoE 1, wave at it, and moved on to PoE 2. But I'm not really. Live service is dying. You think so? All smaller companies are backing off of it. Warframe would beg to differ. Yeah, I think there needs to be a caveat to the statement, live service is dying. But that's the thing. Only the large company, the mega cores are keeping it up, and that's gambling? Really? Okay, well, give me a couple examples of gambling. Like loot boxes? What does Warframe do that is gambling? I'm curious. I haven't played in a while. High Guard? Yeah, that one's good. Okay, no. But that's not an example of gambling. High Guard and Concord. Sure. Okay, so, and you think... Okay. Let's read what Brow said. Only the mega corps are keeping it up, and that's gambling. So, what you mean is that they're keeping it up, and they're doing it... They're gambling with their future. They're not actually using gambling as the only way to keep their games going. Yeah, companies are gambling in a successful live service game. If you hit it, it's big money. Like Fortnite. That's MiHoYo? What is MiHoYo? That is really difficult to pronounce. I can pronounce Miho or Miha, but MiHoYo? Yes, they want a Fortnite. I mean, it's true. There's a lot of companies out there that want to strike the same magic that Fortnite did. Because Fortnite kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, think about it. Fortnite was, did you guys, who here has ever played the OG Fortnite? You know, back when you were finding better weapons, doing maps, doing builds, moving on to the next maps, getting stronger power. I mean, that was fun, but it was definitely a far cry from Battle Royale. Tencent 100% owns DE and GGG, but those are 10 years established, so I see what Brow is saying. There aren't really any new ones. The problem devs keep forgetting is we have finite time and money, yet every company's believing their game is the golden ticket. Tencent invested into Highguard, and when it didn't retain its numbers, they pulled funding. Okay, I had heard that they had received funding from Tencent. That Highguard did. But I didn't hear about their funding getting pulled. Honestly, the game just did not look interesting. Who's interested in another fracking hero shooter, man? I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm tired of the hero shooter. Deadlock. It looked like a running sim. It just didn't look that interesting. The maps looked really big and it was 3v3. I'm like, what? So I didn't even try it. It's a fun hero shooter. What, Deadlock's a fun hero shooter or Highguard's Was, I guess, rest in peace, High Guard. Yes, okay. Deadlock, okay. I mean, the gacha thing kind of works for other reasons, too. I hear a lot of gacha game streamers burn money on pulls to write it off as a professional cost instead of paying it as tax, sure. Deadlock, I mean, okay, so Deadlock's a hero shooter. I bought Dragon Kin when it came out, and it was but now it's a great game. I think anyone who wants a great blasting game with a decent end game will like that game. Since a lot of game in your statement, and they have said there won't be seasons. Hey, do you guys remember when League of Legends used to have seasons that would last an entire year? And now it's like splits. I've never played Dragon Kin. Deadlock is Valve. Reason I kind of skipped it is exactly because it looked like what you said it was, Gorsh. Okay, you hear that, Gorsh? You're a trendsetter. You should be proud. You should be proud. You are a trendsetter. Yeah, Pop-Tart. I think I answered your question, but I answered it pretty quickly. I'm happy to hear that there's a new Pinnacle boss. I feel like it probably should have came in Season 3. It didn't look too different from Torchlight Infinite or Path of Exile. So, Brow, do you think more games should adopt the Grim Dawn model? Or at least action RPGs should adopt the Grim Dawn model? Like, the game's still getting updates, but they're not huge updates. They don't do seasons. And they do expansions. Repeat says yes. Enjoyed your top 5 vid build. Do you think a budget Time Rot Hammers build would be doable, like without all the sets? That would kill the community. So Fallen Rain says no. Okay, so Big B, you're asking, do I think Time Rot Hammers can be done with no set items? I mean, I would highly recommend you get at least the Forgotten Knight set item, but yeah, you can do a budget version. But it's really gonna come together once you get all those random sets. Like, honestly, the version I put out was budget. Believe it or not, that was kind of the budget version. If you looked at the items, most of those items had like a single affix on there that I needed. Everything else was crap with a crafted T1 set affix on there, and still that thing was insane. Oh yeah, it could definitely be a starter, Big B, because it could definitely be a starter because everybody likes to do the everybody likes to do the Devouring Orb Time Rot. You just walk forward and Devouring Orbs kills everything. Mystia is the Time Rot god, and he did Shield Throw plus Void Cleave Time Rot. I feel like I've heard the name Mystia. Was he the one who did the Javelin build last season? Because I heard about the Javelin build from Captain Noobzor, but I wasn't sure where he got that from. Okay, Mystia was the originator of the Javelin build. Yeah, it could be a starter, but I don't have a starter guide for it, Big B. Okay, let me try and read this. LE is moving to expansions, and it's the right call. ARPG space is getting very crowded. Yeah, I was shocked how good it turned out. It was so bad when it came out, and they did a turnaround. Grim Dawn's very much a campaign playthrough single-player experience, and I found it pretty enjoyable. Reason I kind of skipped it is because it Gorsh is replying to Afia about would be neat to see next week for Theory Crafting League. Sure. I mean, maybe I could probably like. Here's the thing, though, Big B. Like, I'm gonna be spending a lot of time. Like, Time Rot Hammers will not be forgotten. Don't. You know, don't worry, but it's definitely going to be a lot of, here's this whole new mechanic. There's actually 2 new whole mechanics that I'm going to have to wrap my brain around that all I can really do is theory craft with and see how they're going to interact with my existing builds and, you know, stuff like that. Real question, though, what about Void Volcanic Orb with 2-piece Forgotten Knight and the new Volcanic Orb set along with the Rat City Impaler? Okay. How are you gonna get a 2-piece Forgotten Knight set? Are you gonna be using the ring and the locket? So are you gonna be using the primordial ring? I'm like, listen to yourself, Afia. How are you going to do that? I mean, you can. You said the 2-piece Forgotten Knight. If you use the Legends Entwined ring, and then you use the locket, that's the 2-piece set. Then you can use the Impaler. But if you wanted the 3-piece set, yeah, you're out of luck. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, Afia, what are you talking about? I'm like first I thought you were talking about a Forge Guard build, but I'm like, you don't get Volcanic Orb on Forge Guard, so how are you gonna do that? I will finally build a freaking Ruby set. There you go. Life will find a way. There we go. Motor Adrian over on YouTube. I loved your top 5 build, thank you. But which one died less in all contact? It's really hard to say, Motor Adrian. Because like that Bleed Hammer build hit 1,000 corruption, but it was also my first build of the season, right? So I probably died the most with it because I didn't have as good of gear. Everything else benefited from my Bleed Hammer build farming gear that it could at least somewhat use. Yo, what up, Outlaw? Honestly, Time Rot Hammer build probably died the least. I know in the video I had footage of me dying at 1,200 corruption, but that was like an anomaly. Pardon the pun. I know, Void Knight an anomaly. That was a bit of an anomaly. That build did not die very often. I think numbers themselves on skills should never be released. The issue is the streamers and build crafters min-max them so much that it takes the fun out of making legit builds out of nothing. It's my only flaw with how streamers go, and you know I'm not talking about you. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Gorsh. You do know that I like to look at the numbers and see what works. Really? Cool. Yeah, there you go, Motor Adrian. I mean, I feel like the numbers are part of what make an ARPG an ARPG. I probably wouldn't play either. I like seeing number in it going bigger and then trying to, like, it's a problem to solve. Yeah, guys, I don't know what we're doing here. That's it. Stream's over. Okay, guys, you know the stream's not over. I mean, come on. But, I mean, like, what are we doing here? On skills and sites that crunch numbers on builds. Bro, you had me? I'm sorry, Pop-Tart. Yeah, no, Gorsh, I gotta disagree with you on that, man. I gotta disagree with you on that. That's what makes LE so good. It's just finding those nodes. We could agree to disagree. I disagree with you on that. It is, and I think that if people played the game without min-maxing, it'd probably be more enjoyable for most. Yeah, but here's the thing, Gorsh. You say that, and then the developers turn around and put Uber Aberoth in the game, and people are like, I want to defeat Uber Aberoth. I've been trying to do it on my own. He's got some sick loot. I can only get it from defeating Uber Aberoth. He's the hardest challenge. What do? I know. Let's crunch the numbers. I mean, there was a time when I would say, yeah, you're absolutely correct, because the difficulty was endless. Everybody doesn't need to be doing 1,000 corruption, right? I feel like finding middle ground was a lot easier. Like, what kind of corruption you want to do? And then they went and put Aberoth in the game. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but then, you know, like, I released, in Cycle 1.1, when Aberoth was released, I put out, like, a couple builds that couldn't kill Aberoth. People were like, bro, a build that can't kill Aberoth isn't a build. I disagreed with them. And then Uber Aberoth came out. I dislike the fight. I'm not a big fan of the fight. Man, that Gorshi coming in hot, man. Coming in with the... It's not a fun fight, no, because it forces you to have to min-max the out of everything. I had a ton of builds that are absolute dog shit, and I love them. I mean, I understand where Gorshi's coming from, but straight up saying sites like this should be removed, you know, like most people would probably not know who I am if Last Epoch tools didn't exist. Want to know why? Because Last Epoch tools found my builds and put it on their website, and people looking to improve their builds went to Last Epoch tools and clicked on the builds guide, and my videos were popping up. You watch me on things that aren't LE. You found me on Only Chefs, thanks. Yo, Scotty, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I thought we were gonna keep that on the DL, man. You know I'm a changed man. I'm trying to. That's I know we've been friends for a while, bro. Like that's shoot, man. What was he cooking? What wasn't I cooking? I had the cast iron pan. How do you think he found his wife? I found you on farmersonly.com. Oh gosh. You really need a frying pan unique. I played since beta, never once even loaded into the Aberoth fight, and still enjoy playing the game. Yeah. Yeah. If there was a frying pan unique in the game, I would use it. I take my builds to Aberoth and occasionally go and push to around 1,000 corruption just to see if they could do it or not. But hardcore and softcore are completely different experiences. I just get bored of builds before I get there. Yeah, no worries, Chris. That's what's great about Last Epoch. You can play a lot of builds. You know what? Let's try the boss. You love the thrill of making a build? Yeah, for sure. Well, because I think one thing about Last Epoch is it didn't have these sort of I'm gonna say it didn't have these goalposts. All it had was corruption, which to a lot of people was boring. To me, was like, cool. Let's see what each build could do. Now there's Aberoth, there's Uber Aberoth, and people come in with, let's say, preconceived notions of what a build should be able to do. There's also, like, I'm somebody who likes to play a build a week, right? All right. A build can't do 1,000 corruption. It's crap. Yeah, whoever says that, it's cap. Okay. On Aaron's site, the leveling guides don't have level 1 to 15 up. They only have 25 to 60. I don't know. I think what ends up happening, here, give me a second. Pam Beasley holding the same picture meme. It's the same picture. I believe there's a 1 to 25 class generic guide. I will say this, Big B, when people like me are creating their planners, I create a 1 through 20 and then a 21 through 60 planner. And then I give the 21 through 60 planner to Aaron. Do 1,000 corruption without dying once and we can talk. I mean, yeah. Okay, listen. By the way, iFlip, I saw you message earlier. Welcome back. Haven't seen you here for a while, man. It's good to see you. But yeah, I mean, I think iFlip is like, yo, Afia, I'm your Huckleberry. Afia sees iFlip. It was just all Kappa. It was just all Kappa. Good to see everyone as well. Welcome back, iFlip. The legend himself. Slayer of gods. Yeah. Yo, iFlip, how'd you do with hardcore this season? Number 5. And then everybody just went and murdered their character. iFlip did number 5 on August 24th, 2025. I got server first Uber as well in number 30. Wait, no. Wait, is this not you? Oh, you did 5 Anthem. I'm like, wait. is out here? Who the hell is out here going after my man iFlip, man? Give me some names. Creates a character named iFlip sucks? Just to be like, yeah, look, I'm gonna do it. iFlip the hardcore champ? Nah, bro, I'm gonna create a character named iFlip sucks and do better than him. Depression name. 13th or 14th? Possessed mobs or BS? Valatio. I agree with this. This is some bullshit. Biffadonna. Wait, you were playing a necromancer? Possessed mobs or BS, and you still got number 14 after dying on the first character. Zappo-Lich. Okay, I'm not... Bleed Master. iFlip's AFK farmer. Who's Biff? Wait, is Biff the guy? No, Rhodey took number 1. I just get... Oh, right, I already read that. Just check the rogue leaderboard. Oh, let me get through this. Oh my god. Are you saying Biffy Danza? Are you saying this guy right here? iFlip's Tank Rogue? Ice Biffy? What am I looking for, Afia? I'm as high as it goes. Coma BD Hardcore Shadow Dancer? That's you. And you did that on September 28th. Dude, Guys. Imagine this. You could still, to this day, get, like, if you started now, get on the hardcore rogue leaderboard. Not many. I would imagine Sentinel's probably full. Yeah, Sentinel's full. iFlip was here. Yo, Ronxy, thank you for the follow. iFlip's washed. Halloween. What about Acolyte? What about Rogue? Oh no, we already looked at Rogue. What about Primalist? Dude, there's still open spots on Primalist? So is there an iFlip? I'm looking for the, I'm looking for that, yeah. Ugh. So Sentinel was the only one to get all 100, to get all their spots filled. Mage is a bloodbath. You'll be racing as Rogue? Since it's getting buffed? Thank you to everybody who watched the top 5 Sentinel builds. Not just Rogue, Dancing Strike. Oh, you're gonna be doing Dancing Strikes. I mean, if it's not running Primalist, if you're not running Primalist or Sentinel, it's not that easy to get top spots nowadays. Well, overall top spots, right? If you're trying to get onto the Rogue leaderboard, I have a sinking suspicion, chat. I'm going to be honest here. I think after seeing what some of the, like converting, like, strength to brutality and vitality to, what's the name of that? Is there going to be any balance changes in the new season? We don't know. Well, we know there's some balancing, but we're waiting for patch notes. Friday, Akeldama. I have a sinking suspicion that Sentinel is going to be catching some damage nerfs. And I think it's going to be kind of lousy if they do, because the idea is they would be too powerful if they converted their stats over to brutality and or, you know, some of the other ones. And then it's like, well, great, now I feel like I have to take those. You know what I mean? You don't think so? Bro, you see like how much damage you're going to be getting off of brutality? The devs confirmed there was a typo. You can get up to 100% more damage with brutality on your melee skills as long as they cost mana. 100% more. I hear it. You guys are going to hear Dread's voice for a second because that's where the screenshot is at. Okay, well, wrong. Okay, yo, what's up, Dread? How's it going? Okay. Yeah. Yo, flashbang warning, guys. There's been a typo in the Hype Week post. Brutality caps at 20 mana cost, not 20% more damage. So, at 20 mana cost, you will deal 100% more damage, assuming you have 100 brutality. So, wait, it's at 20 mana cost. So, if it caps at 20 mana cost, it doesn't sound like it caps the damage. It keeps going if you get more brutality. I mean, sure. I mean, imagine... Am I a Grim Dawn fan? Yeah, I like the game. I played it once. When you use a melee attack that costs 20 or more mana. That's what I'm saying, though, Blue Beyond. That's what how this conversation started. I said, I think Sentinel might be catching a nerf to some of their skills because of what you can do with this. And then Afia pushed back saying no. No, you're all good. I know you can. Yeah, Forge Strike would benefit from this. But that's the thing. What if they go and nerf Forge Strike a little bit? What if they go and nerf Erasing Strike? What if they go and nerf... Well, we're already pretty certain that Warpath's going to be catching... We're already pretty sure that Warpath's going to be catching some changes. Forge Strike is terrible. It's actually not too bad, especially if you take the cooldown off. If you take the cooldown off and then you build into crit, it makes more sense to nerf brutality. Yeah, but dude, this is EHG. Remember all the set items that they nerfed because you can craft? You guys remember that? Remember all these set items we thought were going to be godlike because we could craft it, and they went and nerfed all the set items before they even came out? And then, surprise, surprise, set item crafting was not that great. It was great from a defensive standpoint or a conversion standpoint. But like raw DPS damage, it just didn't compete with uniques because they went through and nerfed everything before they came out. This is the same company. Yeah, because if they go and nerf the damage numbers on a lot of, and I'm using Sentinel as an example, I hope they learned their lesson. I did, fair enough. But I'm using Sentinel as an example, but it's going to make it feel like you have to use this, right? HG's scared of everything, that they would rather nerf new stuff rather than let it be good. I mean, look, it looks like it scales with the cost of the mana. But it doesn't look like it scales with with brutality. If you have 150 brutality, and there it is. Yeah, but he's using 100 brutality as an example. He didn't say 100 brutality was the cap. He used 100 brutality in the example. It doesn't say it's capped at 100 brutality. Okay, so wait. Now you're saying, to be honest, Sentinel could do with a nerf. I use Sentinel as an example. So you're now agreeing that Sentinel will be nerfed, or there's a higher chance that Sentinel will be nerfed because of these changes. Originally, you were saying you don't think they would go through and nerf everything. Yeah, it looks like it scales infinitely, but with a 20... Nah, I don't think they will nerf Sentinel much, just because they'd have to tone down everything. You think Void Well's all but gone? I think the main problem with Void Well is, like, they could keep nerfing Void Well. The problem is there's a lot of fun builds that can use Void Well, but there's only a couple egregious builds. And honestly, this only really came about with Season 2. Void Well had been in the game for a long time. And then Season 2, where... And the reason why it came about in Season 2 is because Sentinel didn't need to, wait for volatile reversal to do their windows of damage. So it didn't really matter if you were just infinitely erasing striking. But now that your damage was just up all the time, bam, erasing strike. But then they went and nerfed erasing strike. I feel like the nerfs to Erasing Strike were absolutely fair for the power that you got. The nerf to Void Well, I thought, was fair. I think instead of nerfing Void Well, I think it would be better if they just changed it on Void Knight to where when you're spinning, when you hit 0 mana, you still get the effects of Void Well, but then it resets your channel. What I was hinting at was, for example, Rogue is supposed to be a glass cannon, but only lives up to the glass bit. Remember when Rogue was like the tankiest class in the game? It had some of the most damage reduction. And Sentinel was the squishiest class in the game. Oh, how the tables have turned. But to bring it back to what you're saying, I think, yeah. Patch notes are going to be cinema. Yeah. So to go back to what you're saying, Afia, as somebody who has played a lot of Rogue, I'm not one. I'm asking you. I'm asking you, Afia, is the Rogue not doing as well because of Falconer getting nerfed or attempting to nerf Falconer over and over again to balance it? And then as a result, Blade Dancer and whatchamacallit, Blade Dancer and Marksman have kind of suffered because of all the nerfs that they've been doing to try and wheel in Falconer. Rogue just wasn't very good because of the lack of good skills. Okay, so you're saying all of Rogue was not very good. Repeats. Here, I'm gonna. Other than Falconer. If you were Blade Dancer, you had either Shadow Cascade or Lethal Mirage. No, like, remember Umbral Blades were really good with Blade Dancer too, and then that got nerfed. Remember with Marksman, the Yelkors? The Yelkors knife build that got nerfed into oblivion? Like, I feel like Rogue had good builds that got swatted down, like, really fast, even if they weren't Falconer. Yeah, but it's... I think the reason why... I think they were looking at buffing Umbral Blades again, like, oh shit, look what we did. Yo, Zero Heavens, thank you for the follow. Yelkors daggers did infinite damage. It was clear it was a bug. Okay, if it was a bug, why did they wait? No problem, no problem. Why did they wait till the end of the season? Didn't they say they were nerfing bugged items? They were nerfing bug builds and items during the season? It was OP skills that could kill off screen, so the lack of defense wasn't a big deal. Okay, so is Rogue not good or is it good? Wait, Ellie has long-lasting bugs in the game? So are you saying they couldn't fix that bug? Because they fixed it going into cycle 1.1. But that didn't stop them when they nerfed. That didn't stop them adjusting Warlock. Warlock was obviously a bug, and they adjusted it. Do you think it took them too long to figure out daggers, and so they just left it? Because what I'm getting at is, if they're staying consistent, which I mean is EHG. But if they're staying consistent with the we only adjust bugged builds in a season, and they didn't adjust that build until going into cycle 1.1, to me that means somebody did the math wrong. And this is EHG we're talking about. Let's be real. BD has some options now. Architects of Blood got really well with Death's Door. Your DSBD can brain dead 400 corruption in hardcore, right, Afia? Not bosses. Look at that. With enough gear, you can go into content. No, and here's the thing. I feel like Blade Dancer's finally getting the love it's deserved, because Blade Dancer was cool in beta, and I feel like it just caught some unjust nerfs. It just caught some, well, I mean, maybe they're justified at the time, but now it's like, oh shit, we gotta undo some of this stuff. Wait, how can we make this better? Because even just undoing some of that stuff isn't enough now. Yeah, with enough gear, we're talking mostly 1 LP slams. Yeah, I think Dancing Strikes is going to be cool. Yeah, I always liked Dancing Strikes because I thought it was cool. It's like you were playing the whirling dervish. You get more movement speed based off attack speed. There we go. There we go. Okay. Bigger number, bigger person. Wait, you're probably talking about something else, but like that'd be kind of insane. The more damage you do, the bigger your model gets. Which class has the most fun minion builds? By far, Beastmaster, in my humble opinion. I don't really play Necromancer, so you'd have to ask somebody who plays Necromancer. But I mean, fun is subjective, right? Fun is subjective, right, Pop-Tart? But Sabretooth was a blast? Yeah, I always liked Sabretooth. Like, I didn't play it this season, but I remember playing Sabretooth in seasons past, and I always thought it was kind of cool, you know? You got some power, and your Sabretooth's got some power. Let's go, man. It's me and my faithful pet. I can't get tired of playing Skelly Pop. There's just something about seeing your mages blow up your Skellies that make me happy. It does suffer from the too cluttery for me to see anything and dodge stuff properly issue. Yeah, that's true. Yo, thank you for the likes over on YouTube. You guys rock. All right. Thank you so much for being here, guys. If you're over here on Twitch, we're going to go ahead and raid Basil, friend of the channel. Looks like he is currently playing some sort of lightning blast, T-pose lightning blast, whatever. We're going to send him some love. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I'll be back again tomorrow. And tomorrow, unless everything that's coming out is like extremely spicy and we need to discuss it like all night, we'll be doing near the end of tomorrow's stream a small stream to support a game that the developers gave me a key for. We'll be checking that out. Thank you so much for being here. If you're over here on Twitch, say hi to Basil. Let's see what you guys are saying real quick. Yo, catch you later, Afia. See a bike, gotta run. Yeah, catch you later, Blue Beyond. All right, if you're over here on Twitch, say hi to Basil. YouTube, thank you so much for being here, guys. Appreciate all the likes, and hopefully you guys have yourself a good one. Log out just raided me. Don't know what happened there. We just raided Basil. Yo, what's good, Log out? Yeah, Log out. I literally just raided Basil on YouTube. Can you even see me right now, or did you get sent over to him? Yeah, that is quite unusual. Oh no, yes, I can see you. Oh, okay, yeah, hey, what's up? Yeah, I just sent everybody away. Yo, thank you for the raid, Log out. It's good to see you, but I do got to shut it down for tonight. Welcome on in, everybody. I'm Babbling Bike. Great minds think alike, absolutely. So I'm sorry to just, kick everybody out. You just got here, but yeah, I got to get off for the night. Appreciate it. Hopefully you guys all have a good one, and hopefully I will see you guys again tomorrow, assuming you're not streaming. Log out. Support Log out. He's a great guy. All right, I got to get going. Yo, Log out. Thank you so much for the raid. Sorry I couldn't stick around. Peace out.